Good morning, traders. This is Shegun Chat 247. I train traders how to trade in harmony with the market. Today is the 26th of September 2024. Welcome to London session analysis this morning. First thing we do, let's quickly check the upcoming economic news and the ones that has already been released this morning. We have the Swiss bank keeping the rate unchanged, okay, and the monetary policy assessment. We need to read that. The press conference is starting now, okay. I may listen to it because that will one way or the other affect uh, some pairs that similar to the Swiss, like euro and stuff like that. Then 1:30 today we are looking at the GDP and the unemployment claims in the US dollar, and the Fed chairman Powell will be speaking later on at 2:30. Okay, that is the main those are the main news that we should be looking at. So yesterday during the New York session analysis that I did, I said something. I said the price are now going through a change of perception. Okay, what I mean by that is we are no longer having the strong pairs in an uptrend. The strong pairs that are buy pairs are now going through a corrective phase, and the weak pairs that are sell pairs are now going through a corrective phase to the upside. And on a smaller time frame like 15 minutes chart, this tends to be this will look like a trend. Okay, obviously we know some of these things can turn to an uptrend if the major trend has been down, or a downtrend if the major trend has been up. But the idea is this: how do we trade in this type of environment? Okay, and that is what I want to clarify um, to us this morning. So, example of a trade we took yesterday was and I mentioned it. I said the the types of trade we are now going to be taking when all these things are going on is what we call the sports trade. Okay, the meaning of that is a sports trade. You have to take the trade and close the trade as soon as you see a change in direction. Basically, before, if we are trading like the trades we took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are not sports trades. Those are high probability trades that we can call a swing trade on the time frame that we're executing them. So an example is this: on Monday we took a trade and we left that trade to develop. Okay, with the sports trade, because the trends are not in sync basically. So if we look at the scanner this morning, we can see they are all over the place. The only pairs that are in sync are the yen pairs. If you look at the card yen here, but you also have Aussie yen. So everything is mixing together, and by looking at the screen like this, we are able to find out what is going on. Okay, if this yen is very weak, okay, I shouldn't have a strong uptrend yen and a strong downtrend yen, because in this one we have Aussie yen as a strong downtrend, New Zealand yen as a strong downtrend, but here we have the card yen as a strong uptrend, US dollar yen as a strong uptrend. That is telling us that the price are now going through a correction or consolidation phase. We'll come back, we come here, okay, the euro yen, the Swiss yen, the card yen, the Aussie yen, the New Zealand yen, the dollar yen in the 1 hour chart are all strong uptrend. Okay, we have the dollar yen here, which is good because we're going to have a look at the dollar yen this morning. The dollar card is still in a downtrend. So this, when you look at this dashboard like this, and also we have our currency portfolio selection, okay, here. So dollar is becoming strong, yen is becoming weak, pound is becoming weak, at least on the charts that we were looking at. Okay, this is telling us that the price are now going through what we call a change of perception. Okay, and when that is happening, the only trade I will personally trade, or I recommend for people to trade, is to take a quick profit, which we call a spot trade. The trade we took yesterday, I'm going to explain it quickly. This was, I actually took the trade while I was recording live. Took the trade on this candle. Didn't take less than 2 hours. The it closed at 15 pips. I didn't get filled immediately, but I got filled somewhere on this candle. And you can see this was actually the first indication. And I went on the 5 minutes. We managed to close the trade when the candle changed the color here. So about 15 pips, and that was the trade. That was the move there. So what we can see now on the pound US dollar, because we need to analyze this. Okay, this trade is becoming a downtrend. We can see wave structure 3 here, but also we have to note something. This is a big uptrend. You see that? As you can see, this is actually a normal behavior. This is a discounting in price. But the only concern, and I'm saying it this way, okay, I'm looking at the candle one. We broke a structure, that internal structure, and we add a follow through. So therefore, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So this 3 gives us a high probability that price should come and break this low. It may come there with a weak, and it may come there with a strong break. So buying the pound dollar is very risky where we are right now, especially from what we saw yesterday. Okay, another type of trade that could come in, okay, which is it's a possibility. I'm looking at the 5 minutes chart because we have the templates here that we normally use for 5 minutes execution. This is actually looking like an like an uptrend. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a completed wave structure, and this may actually give us a failure on the 5 minutes chart. So I'm interested in taking this. Actually, I'm going to show you something quickly. uh let's find a clean 5 minutes chart. I'm going to Let's pause this recording and I'll find a clean chart. I can explain this concept properly, because the execution trading is all about execution. So we need to be able to execute this trade flawlessly. We currently have no position. So I want to use a clean chart on the 5 minutes chart to show you how you can actually get involved in some of these trades this morning. Okay, so now we have a clean chart. Okay, 5 minutes chart, so that we can see the execution. So this is the 15-minute chart. This is always the intraday time frame that we like to use, but when we are going through a spot trade situation, that we don't want to take the trade and leave it for so long. We want to execute the trade and and in most cases close the trade at the end of the swing. Okay, and that is what we call a spot trade. The reason we do that is because the we don't have a high probability setup, and what we call the high probability setup is an uptrend market on the chart that has a strong um, classification on the portfolio selection, or a downtrend market, okay, that has a weak classification on the portfolio selection. That way we can call that a high probability trade, and we take the trades in that direction. That type of trade we can leave it for hours, even days, depending on the strength of the trend. But when we have everything opposing each other, but we still want to trade, okay, that is when we take the spot trade. I hope that is clear. So now we can see this morning, after this move down, this is a completed wave structure on the 5 minutes chart. We saw the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The low of yesterday ends the wave structure on this 5 minutes chart. I like to use 5 minutes when everything is becoming a squinting situation that you have to squint sometime. But you see here, what we saw from the low of yesterday, we saw a completed wave structure. 0 1 2 3 4 5. And for those that have been listening to what I've been saying, okay, if you look at this chart, I'm looking to do this. The 4 is always a pullback level, and this has been traded. Okay, so from where we are right now, if we buy, okay, this is a valid buy on the 5-minute chart because we have a trend. The reason I'm buying is not because of anything else, it's just because I have a trend here. Also, I can do this and put my Fibonacci here. Oops, I did not line up. And I can see a buy zone. Okay, from here, this is my buy zone. So everything lines up nicely. Okay, so all I have to do now is to wait for a green dot close above any of this candle. Then we can take the trade, put the stop loss at the low because the structure has been broken, so the correction has been satisfied. Okay, the pullback of this wave structure has been satisfied. The price has traded into the buy zone, and we've seen ABC down. Okay, we are seeing the potential for buyers to come in again, for the price to go up. If we buy this thing now, which I'm getting my terminal ready, okay, if we buy this now, again, remember this is a spot trade. We are not just going to buy and walk away from it. We're going to buy and see if we can close the trade or execute the trade as soon as possible. Okay, and the first target is always here, so the first target is the T1. Sorry guys, I'm I'm doing this here and I'm doing this on my computer as well. So that is the first thing we are looking at. Okay, and that's the pound US dollar. We've come into the buy zone, we're waiting for entry, so for us to get involved and buy this thing. So let's look at the dollar yen. Okay, that one we need to see what is going on. We haven't traded the dollar yen this week. Okay. All right, I mentioned this last week on Thursday that above here you don't want to be selling the dollar yen just because of how much this thing has been sold, and you are not giving the buyers an opportunity. They're gonna make you pay because you see the price is going nowhere basically. But if you are selling this, you're not making money. Even if you are buying this, you're not you're not making that much money unless you are picking the bottom when the pullback has happened. And as you can see, those bottom are actually tricky to pick based on what we can see on this chart. So the yen pairs, even though they look strong, let's look at the card yen. They are not very enticing. Okay, the only good trade you could have taken on this card yen uh, is this one that took place yesterday morning. Okay, I mentioned the 90 pips, and maybe this one that happened on Tuesday and maybe on Monday. Those ones. Okay, the majority of time from zero to from these wave structures, price is actually doing nothing. Okay, the idea is to be patient with this card pair, the yen pairs. What price is showing us is they are going through a secondary trend. The sellers wants to take profit or they are taking profit, and we should be patient for price to give us at least a better opportunity either to buy from somewhere like this. This is a strong structure here. We have 0 0 0, okay, another 0. Okay, so technically we have 0 ABC, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So maybe if any of these major structure is broken down, 105.90, we have one there, we have one here at 104.56. I'm using the Cardian to analyze the yen pairs now, okay, and this one here. So keep an eye on these numbers. This will affect every other yen pairs. The 103.65 on the Cardian, the 104.55 on the Cardian, the 105.90 on the Cardian. If price is breaking down these areas and stopped and they start to go up, that could be a good buying opportunity for us, because that will meant the price has been discounted nicely. All these small discounts, I'm not going to get involved in it. Okay, so let's go back to the pound US dollar. We want to buy this morning. Let's look at the dollar card as well. This is fantastic. We've seen a pullback, okay, a valid pullback actually, and this is a good sell here. That's another good one that we're going to take. That is a good sell. I don't need to look at this twice. Actually, I was waiting for this all day. So we have, this is a valid pullback, a break. We now saw this thing. This is still a downtrend, okay? The market, the structure is all the way there. We are now seeing a line candle in a downtrend after a correction, okay? The wave structure is printing down. This year, let's look at the screen. US dollar and Canadian dollar are both weak. So we can take the trade. If I take the trade here, I'll use this as the initial stop loss. So I'm just setting it up as well. Mm, okay. So at the close of this candle, I will take a shot on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay. And for my target, you can see how the algo line, which is the 0.618, is holding the price nicely. Above here, to be honest, you don't really want to be getting involved in. You just have to give it room. Remember, the idea what we are doing today is to capture those one one swing and get out immediately. So the first target will be here. This one is the first target, 134.57. I've actually taken this trade now on the 5 minute chart. Okay, and your second target, if that price should capitulate, this is the next target. Okay, once we hit the first target, I'm going to close 50% of this position and trail the trade, okay, until it knocks me out. The pound US dollar, I think we don't have an entry yet. Just have to let the price come to you. I've got 2 minutes to end this video, so I'm going to take a buy. I'm just looking for a close above any of this candle on this 5 minute chart. That will be my entry. We have a trade right now on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I've taken the trade, this one, on my terminal. Okay, and we're just waiting for a confirmation. I've actually used the 5 minutes. If you look at the 5 minutes, we've seen a close, change of candle. This is two. You can see now why I'm doing what I did. I like to use 5 minutes as execution to reduces my risk, okay, especially if we have a situation where we don't have a high probability trending market. I like to use a smaller time frame so that I reduce my risk drastically, and 5 minutes is the perfect time frame for me to do that. Okay, so guys, today is 26th of September. Watch out for the news that are coming up later. If you like what you see, follow us, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I want to welcome you. I want to invite you, sorry, to my boot camp. Okay, check out all the information is on my website, and I wish you a successful trading day today. And God bless. Take care.